we'd pull into the Whitefish Depot about 45 minutes behind schedule. And home to roughly 6,000 year-round residents, Whitefish sits on the western edge of the Continental Divide. And the town sprang to life when the Great Northern rerouted their main line slightly south of Haskell Pass in 1904 to reduce the grade, and so the town of Whitefish was born. And today's station opened in 1928 and follows the same architectural style used throughout much of the Great Northern system, and I can't help but think it reminds me a lot of the Prince of Wales Hotel in Waterton Lakes, Alberta, which coincidentally was also opened by the Great Northern in 1927, which I got a chance to stay at last summer and is only a 3-hour drive away over the Canadian border from here in Whitefish. And the station even features Rocky the Goat, the Great Northern Railway mascot. And with time to make up, our stop was only a few minutes before we were back on the move, rolling alongside the BNSF freight yards with the Whitefish Mountains off in the distance. And as we enter the Bad Rock Canyon and begin following the Flathead River towards one of the highlights of the entire journey, Glacier National Park. We'd pull in the West Glacier to pick up a couple of passengers, and only steps away from Lake McDonald and several of the other world-famous Great Northern Railway lodges, including the Prince of Wales Hotel I mentioned earlier. Now, the Great Northern was no stranger to running cross-border trains. They built from Seattle into Vancouver, and as well from Minneapolis into Winnipeg. And they actually were once considering extending their line from here in Glacier Park into Waterton Lakes over the border. Now, they never did build that extension, and what a missed opportunity. I could only imagine how beautiful a train running around the edges of Waterton Lake would have been. But the landscapes that lie ahead from my journey, well, you just got to see them for yourself. We'd cross over the Continental Divide here at 5,200 feet above sea level, which is actually the lowest crossing of the divide anywhere in the United States, marked by that obelisk you see there, off in the distance. At this point, I think I'd been in the dining car for breakfast for well over 2 hours, and yes, breakfast did look fantastic, but I was just in such awe over the scenery. My breakfast was absolutely stone cold by the time I got to it, and I got no problem with that. You know, lots of people would argue that the California Zephyr is the most scenic train in America, and I've ridden part of that route on the Canyon Spirit back in April, riding from Denver to Moab. I think the Empire Builder absolutely takes the cake on this one. The vastness of the vistas, the mountains, the incredibly dense glaciated peaks that we passed through. I mean, it was spectacular. And even the occasional BNSF freight train that would get in the way and block my view couldn't knock the smile off my face. And as we pull out of East Glacier, marking the official end of the Rocky Mountains, as the mountains begin to flatten out and into the prairies and the farmland ahead, they decided to put on one last show. And there are few things that I love as much as a good trestle, like right here as we cross over the river valley below via the Two Medicine Trestle, stretching nearly 1,000 feet across the valley and standing more than 200 feet above the river below. It looks something like this, and a spot that I would love to do some train spotting one day. Goodbye, my delicious friends. Really wasn't sure what to expect, but with what was supposed to be overcast and raining and clear skies, sun lighting up the snow over the mountains and the glaciers, and the weather being extremely cooperative, this is phenomenal.